wow. We're recording from Japan, yo. No. The actual story here is the Fyre Festival. If this name sounds familiar to anybody, recently the Fyre Festival, company in collaboration with Ja Rule of all people.
Hey, don't throw Ja under the bus.
I'm throwing Ja under the bus.
After that toast he gave to it, I'm sure you read that.
I did read that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Say they so Ja.
This man is a prominent figure. Anyone who doesn't know, this was a festival, a music festival that was supposed to be held over the last couple of weeks.
For well-to-do millennial turds.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's like Coachella
in the Bahamas.
While saying this, it wasn't particularly targeted to you gotta be in this tax bracket to come. It wasn't like that.
Yes, it was.
The ticket prices, but the ticket prices kind of implied that. We're talking like upwards of $5,000.
No, that's starting, bro. They had packages for $250,000 packages, man.
What?
Like from $5,000 to $250,000. Like you got that much disposable income. My level of sympathy is not really there. But I'm sorry, Pete.
If you want to take out a bank loan to see Ja Rule. In 2017.
And Blink 182.
Yeah, Blink 182, a bunch of other bands.
Oh, yeah, that's not...
The best I've heard about it is the first-hand report of this guy who was hired to do it, and then he ended up quitting because he's like, this is not going anywhere. Like, he sensed it, like, as soon as he stepped on. Because when he was boarded, this was supposed to happen, like, relatively quickly as when he got hired, and he's like, none of the legwork has been done.
Yeah, people
there was no vendors there. There was no campsites. Nothing was built. None of the bands had been paid.
Yep. Anyone who's not familiar with the total story, people bought tickets to this show. It was basically targeted toward more affluent, well-to-do people, probably suffering from affluenza. But they bought tickets and went to this island in the promise of a festival spanning 2 weeks. It was going to be featured on a private island, formerly owned by Pablo Escobar, featuring all the butt-naked models and stuff you want. Yes.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like
this the island that they flew the cocaine. I was watching the Netflix series. Was this the island they bought?
This was not. The whole thing was one big snow job. The island was not owned by Pablo Escobar.
It was just like a gravelly
man. That's why all these people spent $25,000 to go. They're like, we could just dig around.
Yeah.
Find
Hey man, we'll find a stash, dude.
I'm gonna go search for arrowheads for 5 hours.
Exactly.
The island was not owned by Pablo Escobar. The island was not a private island. It was sands hotels all over the place. Employees lived there and stuff. And it was also not an easily accessible place. Like it was like highways to and from.
Right.
So when stuff went bad, when the weather went awry,
when they didn't have any campsites or food or water,
that's all people
like
got.
That.
They paid all this money, thinking, yeah, man, we're gonna go and get all these huge accommodations. Meals by some who's the famous chef?
I don't know.
Wolfgang Puck.
Oh, jeez.
It was like Wolfgang Suck.
Yeah. Wolfgang Suck. Yeah.
I
mean,
we got Chef Paul Jones, son. It's like Prudhomme. Isn't he dead? Don't worry about it. Just come. Give us the money.
Yeah, but I think the original push for this too was like, people come to this and then you can rub elbows with models, and it's kind of like a networking event as well as a concert too. It was just
rub elbows with models.
Well, that's the thing. Supposedly, now here's what gets me. This was supposedly the first one of these ever, and it was going to be an annual event. We'll fly out and see it, and so. Yet they had all this footage, this dope ass concert with Blink 182. Word, and they show Blink 182 concerts. Like this is the first whatever. Where do y'all get this footage from? What's all this going on? They hired people, and they hired nothing but like models. Everyone here is gonna be great looking. Everyone here was like a second and third place on America's Top Model. They had like, it's beautiful wildlife and like models kissing like I don't know, what do you call it, like pet pigs and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say there wasn't even any pigs.
Yeah,
that's all I see in the Bahamas. It's like, these pigs swim with the pigs.
Yeah, Kardashians in the advertising, everything.
They shaved them down.
And when people got there, Jay, you were particularly enamored with some of the accoutrements. You want to lay it on what they actually got what they actually found when they arrived on the scene.
They had tents there, tents that were half built. So they had like small tents and big tents. The food accommodations, someone complained about how they paid extra for food. It was 2 slices of bread, 2 slices of cheese, and definitely like the bottom of the salad bowl salad. It's like really soggy and nasty.
Yeah. So it's not even a grilled cheese. It's the bread
not
and
even.
Cheese.
It was just legit.
They got summer camp rations, man.
It was worse than summer camp rations. It's like if they had summer camp rations, it'd been better off.
Can't even
get
no chicken and a biscuit or anything.
Minimum security prison rations.
Nothing.
Yeah,
it was
sounds
pretty
like prison
bad.
rations.
It really does. It was pretty bad. It was just folks were upset. They were heated. But the funny part, And Pat and I talked about this before the show started. My level of sympathy is no. And I know it's kind of like, you're the Thriller Priest. You should have some sort of sympathy. No. But it's like, I mean, when you got that much disposable income to go to a place like this just because Kendall Jenner was there in the advertising, shame on you. You know what I mean? I'm sure she give you a Pepsi and say sorry. Keep pushing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, was there Pepsi, right?
But I mean,
It reminds
folks
me
could
of
get on the
Wayne's World
island.
too, though. You know,
If you
how are
build
we
it,
gonna get the bands to come?
they will come.
I mean, it's to the point where
they will
Blink-182 pulled out the Friday before.
Yes, they did.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, a red flag would have popped up. The band that I really wanted to see pulled out. You know
That's
what I
one
mean?
of the main issues. A lot of bands pulled out, and we come to find
they weren't
out
getting paid.
after the fact.
Exactly.
Yeah, they
just
weren't getting
weren't
paid. And the organizers sent notices in advance to most of the acts not to show up. It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like, do not come out. And I'm like, okay, what were you going to entertain these people with?
Yeah,
Gone?
why didn't they tell their guests?
customers?
Yeah, their customers, the people they sold tickets to, not to show up.
This whole thing was a debacle from point A to point Z, man.
Yeah,
And
sounds like it.
It starts off, they had no accoutrements, they had no setup for bands to play, they had no accommodations for patrons to actually stay in or attend while they went to actual shows that were supposed to go on.
Right.
And they had, like you said, no food for them.
They had to
had
get
no money.
Like brought out. They had to like do like an evacuation of all these people. Like these people could actually die if they keep going this way because there's nothing for them.
On the venue. They were reliant on the organization to get them there, and they were told not to bring any money. So you won't get robbed anything. This is quote unquote a cashless event. So they all had these special bracelets they were supposed to put money on, and they could use them like a speed pass.
And they were all like bracelets that were owned by the organizers. Like they were proprietary. So it wasn't like it was, put money on your PayPal and we'll connect your PayPal. It was like its own proprietary thing, right? Like
it was also like Six
so
Flags.
like you can't get your money back.
Yeah, it was also like Bart Bucks. You couldn't use them anywhere else.
Right.
Bison bucks.
They
got bison bucks at the end.
Yeah. So it's like we don't have money here. We use coupons.
Right.
Like, well, they don't take coupons anywhere else besides this place. You ain't got no food.
That's 2017. It's probably a voucher system now.
They're trying to do the Burning Man thing where you're not supposed to bring money. You're supposed to live but somehow they're worse at it than Burning Man even.
Well, only one that got burned was the patrons.
Yeah. Well, Fyre Festival, Burning Man. I mean,
no, they knew what they were doing. That wasn't accidental.
Yeah.
That was one big pun there.
We'll spell it with a Y and be really trendy.
Right. Fire.
Well, it got dangerous. That's where things really went straight to hell. Where they got bad. People couldn't get away. People couldn't get to safety, and because they were dependent on there was buses and taxis readily available, but these people want to get paid. When you got no cash on you, you kind of hosed.
Yeah,
you can't just walk along.
I can't be like, yo, do you take this?
Yeah, do you take this non-currency, non-legal tender on my bracelet?
17 cents for the plastic, maybe.
Yeah, right.
It's like it's got $400.
Now, what was the speech Ja Rule gave to?
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? It's like party like we're rock stars, F like we're porn stars.
Yeah, it was like something in between. It was like
yeah.
Everyone else was fairly apologetic. Even Blink-182 released a very proper professional. We're sorry, people got hosed. We wanted to emphasize we had no part in this.
Is this Jaws?
No, this is Blink-182. They handled things professionally.
No, John put out a statement.
He did put out a statement. His was more along the lines of
murder.
Ja Rule was like,
when you get back to the States, holla.
Nah, he was like, yo, man, shit happens. Catch me in Fast and Furious 9.
Oh, man. Right.
If I'm lucky.
I just know that he had capital. I know you said it was not my fault in capital letters. I do remember that sticking out of the statement. It's not my fault, but I do accept responsibilities. Like,
wait, what? Sounds like Trump.
Well, no. To his credit, he did try to say, at the very least, I accept responsibility, even though I was not directly involved with these decisions. I'm like, dude, your name was plastered all over the
it's not
You were the primary figure.
It's not decisions. It was like non-decisions.
Yeah.
No one made a decision to, I don't know, have money for this thing, like build something,
well,
have
they
something
had to
ready.
Have an idea at some point. Like, okay, after this,
we'll put on a concert, man.
Well, the other co-founder explained how him and Ja got the idea for the sucker in the first place. They were taking flying lessons, ran out of gas, and actually crash landed on this island, and had the idea. This is like a magical experience.
Is like Lord of the Flies.
This is not true.
Did this really happen?
Yo, P, you making this up, bro.
A bunch of rich people.
I'm not fucking
people
Now, we had an idea of how this probably should expected this to turn out before it became public news. That we're going to have all these rich cats land on this island, run out of resources, and then just like stage your own bum fights.
Right.
Yeah. Is that why we hadn't heard from Ja Rule for a while? He was on this island. They crashed.
No. Ja Rule was just like in deep depression over the money he lost from not being in Fast and Furious 2. Like, I'm not going to be in your crap sequel. Forget you. And then it's like him and Hector just repenting all day.
Him and Hector.
Yeah.
Mystical, maybe.
Yeah. Well, what this comes down to is I'd like to talk about when we consider after we've gotten our yucks and chuckles out the way, how can cats actually avoid being scanned by such things in the future?
I'll look for obvious red flags, I guess.
Go with something that's reputable. I mean, go with something that's reputable.
If
like
you have the kind of money to spend on Fyre Festival, just go to Coachella, as gross as that is.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
like
at least it's reputable.
Coachella is like a boon for musical appreciation. Who the hell are the Stone Roses? I don't know who these guys are. Can I do cocaine to them?
Yeah, Can I wear an Indian headdress and do cocaine?
Yeah, look for reputable sources then.
Yeah,
absolutely. Actually, do your
I guess. I mean, I wouldn't go to the first of anything unless it was probably local too. You know what I mean? And have a contingency plan. You know what I mean? Like have like kind of a backup. Like if you're going to something in California, like I can just drive somewhere.
Well, also maybe out of the country is a little bit sketchy. Yeah, because I
first year out of the country, probably right there. I'd probably have some second thoughts about
where
it.
And then no access to money. Like I remember actually they were putting on a festival, Moonrise Festival in Baltimore, and it was like 2014. It's like a big electronic music festival. Major Lazer was there as well. Supposedly Major Lazer's everywhere.
Oh man, just that track record.
Yeah. And well, they were also at Boston Calling too, and the first one, and I did go to that, and that was okay. But and they ended up. I think it was Steve's Productions put that on a Moonrise Festival, but they actually had never even gotten the permits from Baltimore to put this on. So like they had organized the whole thing, booked all the bands, all the stuff, but the city had never given them permission, so they had to like cancel it like 2 or 3 weeks in advance. But they did cancel it and get their fans their customers refunds and stuff. No, it sucked because we had taken the time off and we had been all planned for it. We had a whole plan. We were all excited, me and all my friends. So it was a downer that it didn't happen, but we did get our money back, and like we didn't get stuck on an island or even stuck in Baltimore for that matter. And they did put on a Moonrise Festival the next year, and I think a lot of people like took Bad Molly and OD'd at it or something. I don't know, but it was also I don't know which one I would have rather have gone to, but it was.
Well, okay. At least now you know the Steves.
The Steves.
All right. So the thing with Fyre Festival is the whole thing was one big cluster F. We've gone a little long on this, but I do want to say if anyone has anything to say to chime in on this sucker, let us know your opinions, or maybe you were there. Hit us up. Yeah, we'll feel for you.
If you made it back to the States.
Yeah. How many people from Boston do you think there were there?
Oh, actually, there's some paid young folks.
I mean, there are a lot of folks from Manhattan. A lot of folks. I think in the NPR piece it was like Joe Blow, 23-year-old from Manhattan, said, Susie got money from Upper East Side, said this. It was a lot of folks from New York who were there.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Consider cats also who work on State Street. They on that first gig. Stuff like that. Well, anyways, if you have anything to say on this issue, you want to chime in, tell us how wrong we are, how right we are, you got a personal story, whatever, hit us up at Geek Down Radio.
I'd actually really like to hear these. So
especially if you have some special words for Adam. Hit us up at geekdownradio@gmail.com, or you can go right to the website geek-down.com and hit us up in the contact section. All right, now, dude.